This is what freedom from what's been trapping you feels like. I want to tell you something that I believe with everything that I have. You were never the problem. I know that sounds simple, maybe even obvious, and at a deeper level, you probably already believe that. But I want you to hear something different. Because most of the messages you receive from the diet industry, from the fitness world, even from the medical system, it often hasn't known what to do with you. Most of those messages, underneath all the advice and the plans and the protocols, they've carried the same quiet implication. Something about you needs to be fixed. And that's exactly what I want to dismantle today, completely and finally. Over the last 4 weeks, we've talked about the nervous system, about cortisol, about stress, and about the emotional weight and what the body stores. And the thread that runs through all of it, the thing I most want you to take away with you, is this. Your body has been responding intelligently to the life you've been living, not malfunctioning. It's not been erroring, it's been responding. Every gram that you've held, every kilogram, every sleepless night, every craving that felt like you were out of control, every moment of exhaustion that felt so deep that you wondered if you were ever going to feel like yourself again. Your body was doing its best in that moment, doing its best with the information that it had, in the environment that it was living in. And now that you understand more about what's been driving it all, now the environment can actually change. I want to invite you to imagine something, not a fantasy, something real, something that women I've worked with have actually experienced. Imagine waking up in the morning without the first thought being about your body or something you feel within yourself. Imagine eating a meal and feeling satisfied rather than guilty. Imagine moving your body because it feels good, because you love what it can do, because you're genuinely on the same side as this remarkable organism that's carried you through everything. And get this one. Imagine looking in the mirror and something inside you says, "You're okay. We're okay." That's not a distant dream. That is what regulation feels like. And that's what coming home to yourself feels like. It didn't start with a perfect diet or a punishing gym schedule. It starts with the decision, which you make again and again, and some days more easily than other days. But the decision is to stop being at war with yourself, to stop treating your body like a problem and start treating it like a partner. To ask not what's wrong with me, but what do I need? This shift, and it is a shift, it's not a single moment, this shift changes the internal landscape. And when the internal landscape changes, the external one follows. Every single time. You don't have to make this happen. It will happen immediately and naturally. It has to. It doesn't always necessarily happen the way you expect or on your timeline, but it will happen and it does follow. You cannot hate yourself into health, but you can love yourself there. In Chinese medicine, there's a concept of Wei Qi, the protective energy that surrounds the body. It's the body's outer defense, the layer that stands between you and the world. When that protective layer is strong and flowing and nourished, the body is resilient, it's adaptive and at ease. When it's depleted from overgiving, from chronic stress, from years of neglect, the body becomes reactive, it becomes vulnerable and unable to regulate. And you've been running on a depleted Wei Qi for a long time. What you're feeling in your body, day after day, in your mind, the heaviness, the exhaustion, the difficulty, the trying harder, the nothing responding, that's your body being dysregulated. Replenishing it looks like rest, it looks like nourishment, time for yourself, like grief that's allowed to complete, like joy that's permitted, like the radical, revolutionary, quiet, rebellious act of treating yourself as if you matter. Because you do, you matter. Not once you've lost all the weight. It's not that you become fixed and complete and important and acceptable and loved by yourself once you lose the weight. and not once you've fixed the things you've decided are broken that you believe need to be fixed. That's not when you become valuable. It's now, exactly as you are in this body and in this moment. And this is where we start and where everything changes. You are complete. You are whole. Nothing's broken, and everything you need is within yourself. That is when you know you're home. Today, I want to ask you something that may feel a little scary, but if you can be brave enough to ask yourself this question, you'll have started the shift within yourself. What I want you to ask is, what's the predominant struggle that you've heard yourself saying over and over for as long as you can remember? For the years that you've been struggling, what dialogue have you heard repeated in your mind? Things like, I'm not good enough, or I'm failing, or I just can't. Or if you can tap in a little deeper, what are the underlying fears that you're feeling? I'm afraid to XYZ because the outcome XYZ. Take a look at the underlying stories that you're telling yourself. If you want help to do this at a deeper level, reach out to me. I'd love to work through this with you, one-on-one and confidential. When you can identify the message underlying, the words that have shaped the way you feel about yourself, when you can identify where that was created, and you can then see that they are not a truth, you can then break free from that. You can see yourself from a place of not being broken, of being complete and whole and absolutely perfect as you are. Now, if you're saying to yourself, but Naomi, I want to lose 10 kilos, I want to lose 5 kilos, I want to lose 30 kilos. What I'm telling you is the way to achieve those goals. Once you can identify these underlying conversations and dialogues in your head, you'll then know what's been stopping you and preventing you from breaking out of that trap and what's been sending you on that repetitive self-sabotage cycle. Once we can see this, we can then come to a place of self-love and gratitude for the amazing person that you are. From there, you can see your goals and you can start moving towards them without resistance. Your body will finally start to respond. Yes, the food has to be right. Yes, the training has to be right. The lifestyle, the rest, the stress. But a lot of you have already been putting these pieces of the puzzle into place. And a lot of you have already been doing everything right. But in the background, you're still not seeing results. I want to show you that this is the hidden piece. Once you can identify this, the results will be truly remarkable. Remember, reach out to me if you want to chat about this more. If this triggered something in you and you believe it at a deeper level, but you're not sure how to execute it, contact me. I'll take you through the process. I guarantee you'll see results, you'll feel amazing, and you'll break free from an entire lifetime of feeling trapped. And remember, if you're ready to go deeper, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.